Would you please make Kate feel very welcome?
Thank you, Gian, for the lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. In 2023, I was in my senior year of high school as a boarder in Toowoomba when I received a life-altering diagnosis. Back then, my biggest concerns were finishing assignments, finding the perfect formal dress, and getting weekend leave approved from the boarding house. But everything changed when I had a seizure at school. Medical investigations revealed a fast-growing brain tumour. At first, it was thought to be benign. I even nicknamed it Tina Tumour. However, post-surgery pathology confirmed it was a malignant mesenchymal chondrosarcoma. I couldn't pronounce the diagnosis. I barely can now. However, the word malignant filled me with terror. My reaction was simple: get it done so that I could get my life back on track. Within weeks of surgery, I began 6 weeks of radiation. This meant leaving the Fairholme College boarding house and becoming a day student. I was determined to continue being as normal as possible and complete grade 12. Dad held down the fort on our family's cattle property, but he did give me a parting gift of a jar of dirt so that I always had a piece of home with me and to remind me who I was and where I came from. Mum took leave from her teaching position and moved to Toowoomba from our home in Geelong, a tiny hamlet in the South Burnett, 4 hours from Brisbane. During our daily 3-hour commutes from Toowoomba to Brisbane, Mum suggested we learn French on Duolingo. Ironically, my French improved more than hers. She mastered the essentials like champagne, of course. Radiation turned into chemotherapy and the move to Brisbane became permanent. Nothing truly prepares you for the experience of being hooked up to a machine watching chemicals seep into your body. I felt drained, nauseous, and mentally foggy, like a dusty country road. My hair began to fall out, but after each treatment, I had my own space, a bed, to retreat to. Thanks to the You Can Stay program, Mum and I were provided a unit at the Quest Apartments. Once she set up her Thermomix on the bench, as any devout member of the Thermomix cult would, we knew we were home. From our balcony, I watched city traffic buzz by and had friends over for sleepovers. Peace in chaos. Without the accommodation offered by the You Can Stay program, my parents would have had to pay to rent in Brisbane, which would have put considerable financial and emotional stress on our family. The stability of being able to stay at the Quest Apartments allowed me to focus fully on both my physical and emotional recovery. The medical treatment I received in Queensland hospitals was world class, and it made me realise how lucky we are to live here. I'm endlessly grateful for my loving family and friends who travelled to visit me and never treated me any differently. My brother still crash-tackled me, and my sister still got mad at me for wearing her clothes. Those little things never changed. But some changes were quieter. I found myself hesitating to walk into rooms first, afraid people would stare at my cancer patient appearance. Certain smells, songs, and flavours still trigger panic, echoing the days I was in survival mode. Despite the upheaval, I stayed committed to celebrating the milestones of my senior year. I attended formal, graduated grade 12, danced at a Zach Bryan concert, and even snuck in a few nights at schoolies, with my parents nervously hovering nearby. Since finishing chemo in April last year, I've travelled to Canada and America, worked as a pen writer in a feedlot, and taken on a governess role north of Julia Creek. Being a governess to 2 little girls learning through the School of Distance Education in Mount Isa and helping out on their remote cattle property is a world away from my time in Brisbane, and I'm thankful for that opportunity. The regular MRIs, tests and reviews mean constant travel, but the You Can Stay program continues to support us with accommodation, making a huge difference. Exactly 2 years ago today, I began my first chemotherapy session in Brisbane. Anxious, sick and scared. Today I stand before you celebrating 12 months cancer-free. Thank you. So here's my message to you. Be grateful for the life you live. Somewhere out there, someone is lying in a hospital bed wishing they could do what you're doing right now. Thank you.